Welcome back to Deep Dive Survivor, everyone. We're here at the National Historic Site of Cabot Tower on the top of Signal Hill. Let's go have a look. So this building here behind me was actually older than the Cabot Tower on top. This one was built here in 1790, and this is where they stored the gunpowder for the cannons. So Cabot Tower was built in 1900, and this was as a commemorative to the Queen of England for the Queen's Jubilee and the 400th anniversary of John Cabot landing in St. John's or Bonavista in Newfoundland. Not 100% sure. I think it was Bonavista he first landed. Out here we got Cape Spear, most easterly point in North America. Here we got Fort Amherst behind me here, and these are the Narrows, what they call the most narrow part of the harbour. We call that the Narrows. This gun here behind me is the noonday gun, and for at least 150 years at noon every day this gun was fired off to let all the citizens know it was high noon. This pond you see here behind me is called George's Pond, and around the edges of this pond there was actually anti-aircraft and artillery installed by the Americans during the Second World War. The Americans came and made a base here at Signal Hill, just below Cabot Tower, down in this area here behind me. There were 18 barracks built that housed 475 men, and they had a mess hall, 2 recreation halls, a tennis court built, a shower and sewage system. The water was pumped up from George's Pond, and they also had anti-aircraft guns on Lady Lookout, which is that high point behind me, behind Cabot Tower here. Check out, there's one of these old school cannons here too, guys. Let's go inside. This tower is erected to serve as a perpetual memorial of the 60th year of the glorious reign of Victoria, Queen and Empress, and in commemoration of the 400th anniversary of the discovery of Newfoundland by John Cabot. Foundation stone laid June 22nd, 1897. Building declared open June 20th, 1900. So as you first come in here, guys, we've got the narrow stairway going up to the roof. And we got a little gift shop here on the main. Here's a little view out the window here. Here's the St. John's Harbour. And all the downtown St. John's. There's a gun there. Anti-aircraft gun, I think it is. But we got a little gift shop here for souvenirs. These would be all locally made, I would imagine. This question here, what do you add? That means, what are you up to? In Newfoundland we say, what are you at? Lots of different unique sayings here in Newfoundland. Let's go upstairs and see what it's like. Got windows right in the stairwell and everything here. These are all stamps, Newfoundland stamps from 1947. So these stamps were 12 cents, 10 cents, 24 cents. Wave over waves, Guglielmo Marconi, and the wireless communications at signal here. So this is Marconi here. This here is Marconi's wireless telegraph machine. So it's got wave bands, broadcast, long wave, and more than 2 short wave bands. It was powered by external power supply or a main unit. And the loudspeaker is a permanent magnetic dynamic loudspeaker, a moving coil. Analog dial, logging dial with numbers, 690 kilohertz crystal calibrator. Powered by 24 volt AC heaters and 250 volt DCB or 110 to 20 volts DC. The CR300 receiver was used with the TGY2 transmitter in Coastal Forces craft and very early Ton class minesweepers. When combined with the Type TMS2 HF transmitter, they were known as Type 607. So this is what Marconi had on the go to get better reception. Flying a kite there.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
For many years, Sonra has operated a HF station from Cabot Tower at Signal Hill National Historic Site in St. John's to commemorate Guglielmo Marconi's achievement of receiving the first wireless transatlantic signal at this site on December 12, 1901. So we got a tuning coil. There's an ohm meter. Concentric tuning coils. So this is all original stuff here, guys, from 1900. Original windows. It's a great view out of every window. Here's the parking area. Aerial view of Signal Hill during the Second World War. The antenna masts can be seen on either side of Cabot Tower. So they used to have big antennas here on both sides of the tower. Right here is where the parking area is right now. And these buildings here, one of these was a typhoid fever hospital. This is the equipment in Cabot Tower, wireless station in 1930s. This is the radio operation at Torbay Airport. Pretty interesting stuff, hey guys. Hit the like button if you like this type of thing. Let's check this out, see if anyone's gonna answer. Hello? Hello? Marconi, you there? Guglielmo, can you hear me? What's up, man? What's up, man? Are you on the other side of the Atlantic? He is. He's on the other side of the Atlantic. Over here we got Fort Amherst, right on the other side of the Narrows here for St. John's Harbour. I'm going to show you guys that in another video, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. These are the stairways going up to the roof here now. Let's go up and check it out. Really narrow stairs. Alright, so we're up on the third floor now, the Cabot Tower. This is where the flags are stored. We've got a real narrow window here. This would have been a firing window, I imagine. Point a gun out there, and here, and here, and here. So many different firing positions. And there's a hike that goes over here. You can see the trail right down close to the water. Coastal hike. I'm gonna take you guys on that. And we're gonna see some of the fishing stages and houses that are on the cliff side, just below this battery over here. You see a bunch of cannons on the edge of the cliff there? The trail goes just down below that. Alright, so now we're gonna head out on the roof and give you guys a view of St. John's from the roof of Cabot Tower. Alright, let's do a panoramic here. So here we have the Narrows, St. John's. Over there we got Cape Spear Lighthouse. That's the most easterly lighthouse in North America. One of the supply boats are heading out there now to the offshore oil rigs. We got the guy from the SpongeBob movie coming in. Got a ship being guided out with a pilot boat. It's gonna be leaving the harbor here now in a second. But just look at the thickness of the walls here, guys. They're 2 foot thick, or more than that, 30-inch slabs. So here's where we came out, that gray door there. And there's the very top of Cabot Tower. There's the flag masts. Originally this building was built to signal the merchants in town that there were merchant ships coming into the harbor, and so they could prepare for those. All original windows here, you can tell these would be ventilation holes. Wooden windows, 1900. What a beautiful evening. It's Friday evening and the sun will be setting here soon. Called the Lookout, and in December 12th, 1901, Guglielmo Marconi received the first transatlantic wireless message. The letter S was sent wirelessly from Cornwall, England, 3,500 kilometers away, straight across the Atlantic Ocean. And then Marconi received this signal of the letter S in the diphtheria hospital that was set up just below Cabot Tower. On July 23rd, 1920, the Canadian Marconi Company transmitted a human voice wirelessly across the Atlantic Ocean from Cabot Tower. A wireless station was opened in Cabot Tower in 1933 and operated until 1949. we are now just down over the hill from Lady Lookout, or Lady's viewpoint. And we have Cuckold's Cove here behind me. In 1909, even though Marconi was working on wireless telegraphs going across the Atlantic, they were also working on laying cables from Ireland directly to Newfoundland, right in this cove here behind me in Cuckold's Cove. The very first telegraph cable was sent across the Atlantic and landed right here in Newfoundland at Signal Hill, Cuckold's Cove behind me. By 1931, there were 8 telegraph cables connecting Ireland to Newfoundland, to New York, and to the rest of Canada. Over here we have a bit of a hidden structure. Not all the tourists find this one. It's just down from the stairs of Lady Lookout. Okay, so this is the canteen. This is what it looked like back in the day. Just ahead of the exposed ruins of the Signal Hill Canteen, built in 1835, the main level of the canteen had a tap room, a bar and cellar. The second level contained 2 bedrooms, a sitting room and a sergeant's room. A privy and ash pit were located in the corner of the walled yard. In the tap room, off-duty soldiers could meet friends for a game of cards and a drink or a mug of beer. Coffee, tea and food were also available. From the Army's perspective, the canteen fostered discipline, keeping the men on the hill and out of public houses in town where they might fight with civilians or be tempted to desert. The canteen was built as a part of a larger attempt in the 1830s to move all the soldiers at St. John's to Signal Hill. Through catering to soldiers, it was run by a civilian. The first operator was a Mrs. Garfield, seen here awaiting the delivery of a barrel of beer. Behind and above the canteen were a commissariat store and fuel yard built the same year. The wooden building at the right is the soldiers' barracks, built around 1800. Ultimately, the attempt to house all the soldiers on Signal Hill failed due to the harsh climate up here. There is no record of how long the canteen operated, but the need to relocate soldiers in the 1840s and the reduction of the garrison in the 1850s would have made it difficult to turn a profit. The military map from the 1850s lists the canteen as ruins. So this site was already in ruins in 1850. Got a mixture of rock and brick and mortar, cement. And these structures would have had wooden floors, stairs and everything, walls built on the inside. Literally built right on the edge here. This is a bit of a retaining wall I'm standing on, actually. All a really old retaining wall here. And there's the trail. This probably would have been their outhouse with the best view in the world, $1 million view. Felt like I could just sit down here, read the newspaper, check out the Atlantic, you know? Well, let's go for a hike, guys. I'm taking you right down around this trail here today. Let's do this. All right, folks, we're at the start of the hike. We're at the parking lot here for Signal Hill, Cabot Tower. Behind me we've got Lady Lookout Point behind me there, and we've got Cabot Tower right there. This is where I parked my car. It's free parking. We're going to start the hike from the top of the hill. A little bit easier for it's going to be mostly downhill this way, but on the back side you do have to come up Signal Hill Road, so you do have to come back uphill at some point to get to your car. But it is free parking. The Lady Lookout is a significant point in our history. In 1696, France ordered some admirals and generals to invade St. John's and try to take over Newfoundland. They landed in Bay Bowls Harbour, which is it's a nice ways away from St. John's actually. It's about a half-hour drive, 20-minute or half-hour drive. And the soldiers marched to St. John's from Bay Bowls. The French soldiers did. When they marched into town, the British captain of the garrison underestimated the number of soldiers that had landed, and he surrendered without firing a shot. The French instantly started installing artillery and batteries throughout St. John's in anticipation of a counterattack by the British. And sure enough, the French landed in June of 1696. By September, the British landed in the Bay of Torbay, Bay of Tor, which is on the east coast here. Again, it's a bit of a ways from St. John's, probably a 10 or 15 minute drive in a car. And the British soldiers marched towards Signal Hill from Torbay. In the surrounding hills of Cabot Tower, they had some minor skirmishes and minor battles, not too many casualties. And the British set up a field hospital in the nearby community of Kitty. Once all the wounded were taken care of, at the break of dawn, it was zero visibility fog around the mountain here, and they hiked up from Kitty towards Lady Lookout Point in single file and took the French by complete surprise. And there was a brief but gruesome battle, and it even went as far as hand-to-hand combat to take over Signal Hill again. The French retreated down to Fort William, which is down on the east end of Water Street on the St. John's Harbour, and the British soon chased them out of there as well. Up on the narrow part of the trail up here now, pretty soon. Some quartz right there, guys, right in the trail. Some more veins here. Lots of different colors here. That's a good sign, I think. As you can tell, I'm getting a major interest in geology. Maybe that's what I should have did in university. I might still go. It's never too late to go to university. I was thinking about taking law or geology or both. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Lots of like little crevices all the way along this mountain. It's nice here, like almost no wind. It's starting to get hot. Whereas out on the point there was like enough to blow you off the cliff. Gonna have to shed this coat, I think. Alright folks, so I got my facts a little bit mixed up. Between 1696 and 1704, the French and English battled quite a few times to try and take Newfoundland. Newfoundland, St. John's did fall to the French several times, but the battles I was telling you about where the French landed in Bay Bulls and the British landed in Tor Bay, this actually happened in 1762. After 8 years of fighting in 1696, they signed a treaty in 1713, the Treaty of Utrecht, and this gave Britain possession of Newfoundland, confirmed a possession for sovereignty to Britain. But in 1762, France tried once more to try and take over Newfoundland. And with our abundance of fish and resources and beautiful land and newfound land, many colonies, many countries from around the world would most likely come and try and take this, take control of this land. And they knew that. And so from the early 1600s, they built batteries, fortifications around Signal Hill and around Fort Amherst, which is on the other side of the Narrows, and along both sides of the Narrows. During the First World War, they actually put log booms across the Narrows to prevent German torpedoes from entering the St. John's Harbour. And if I'm not mistaken, I learned somewhere along the way that during World War II they had chains underwater and even some underwater mines to prevent submarines and torpedoes from entering the Narrows. When I was a young boy, an iceberg actually came down and got trapped in the Narrows, and it was huge. It blocked the entire channel. No ships could get in or out. It was over 100 feet high, and it actually closed the harbor for over a week, I believe. They tried pushing it with tugboats and she was grounded solid. It's pretty windy here. I hope the audio is not too bad for you guys. So it's kind of a rugged trail. It takes about 40 minutes to complete, but there are stairways in the real steep areas, and there is one section where the path narrows quite a bit and you have to hold on to a chain on the side of the cliff. trail today. It's a beautiful day. Great for some fall hiking. Thank you. So it's Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada. I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for my health, for the health of my family. Thankful for all my friends, all my supporters on YouTube, all my subscribers and people that are watching. Hit subscribe right now. Really helps a guy move forward with the channel and grow. There's a lot of things to be thankful for. I'm thankful every day that I wake up. Came kind of close to not being here. If you want to learn about that, check out Diving Disaster Canada. It's my documentary on my diving accident. Every day I wake up, I'm happy. Look at these beautiful ocean views, guys. This place is amazing, isn't it? There's many tourists come and hike this trail even when they come in on the cruise ship. If they're here for 7 or 8 hours, this is a hike that can be done in less than an hour. Tell it's pretty windy here today. It says 50, gusts of 55, but it feels more like 75 or 80 kilometers an hour. Whew. Because you're right on the salt water too, it makes you really thirsty. I didn't bring any water for this hike. Should though. There's normally some lawn chairs here left, like drilled into the ground, left here year round. I don't see them here yet. It's only out here on the point. A lot of this trail is bedrock. Hope you're enjoying this hike, everyone. Hello. Super busy trail here today. Hello. Pretty good hike. It's great to feel the fresh air going right into your lungs. Salty fresh air too. It clears your sinuses. That's why the boogers keep flying out of my nose. I love ocean sidewalks and hikes. Or going to the beach. Anytime I got a cold or something like that, I always go next to the salt water, and it clears everything up real fast. All right, let's keep it going. Sorry. Actually see a few skinny quartz veins in this cliff face here. Found a sheltered little area here where it's not 85 km/h winds. Really like this hike though. We're coming up. Got to shed a layer there, guys. It's going up to 14 degrees. The temperature's rising.
Hello.
Good day. Hello. Hi. What do you think of the views here, guys? Hi. This here is a major crack in the earth. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's waves crashing in on the bottom of this crevasse. And it's kind of tunneled out because the crevasse doesn't continue here, but it does go underneath all of this. Come out in here. So there's a major sea tunnel down there. Hello. Hello. I'm good, and you?
Oh, lovely.
So we got the narrow section of trail. It's right here, guys. You gotta hold on to this chain. Made it. So now we're coming through the narrows of the harbour here, folks. Hi. Pretty windy again. Hello. This is the first time I've seen the gulls make a big colony here on these rocks. They're not normally there. That's why the rocks only have a little bit of guano on there. Here's a structure here, I believe, is one of the old garrisons. Probably like ammunition storage for the cannons and guns that they had placed on each side of the narrows here. But check this out. The old railroad tracks, it looks like. It's got a concrete slab roof, probably about a 6-inch slab here, or say 8 or 10-inch slab on the roof. Somebody was actually digging down here. It's probably a fox den. Hello, hello. There's quite a few foxes live up around this area. Okay, so we can get a peek inside here, guys. I'm gonna put you in. Did you see anything? Comment down below, so let me know what's in there. There's another building just like this. All right, let's get down again, keep going. Another building here. Looks like it's built in much the same fashion. There's bars on the door as well. Hello. So, we're coming into the St. John's Harbour here now, folks. This is the Chain Rock Battery. The first defences of St. John's were erected and manned by fishermen in the 1660s. They placed cannons here and on the opposite side of the Narrows, augmented by a cable, likely made of rope in those days, to keep enemy ships from entering. In 1697, the English military took charge of the defense of St. John's. When the French briefly took St. John's in 1709, they destroyed an elaborate chain and timber boom, then under construction in the Narrows. So they had some sort of cable to transport things across the Narrows here. So in the Second World War, Canadian forces built a new emplacement here and called it Fort Chain Rock. A wire anti-submarine net between Chain Rock and Pancake Rock gave way in 1941 to 3 pairs of anti-torpedo baffles that were suspended in the Narrows. The baffles were supplemented in 1943 by a new and more modern anti-submarine net. So what I was talking about earlier with the chains underwater in the Narrows, that's all true. That was a true story, not just rumors. Check this out, guys. Want to climb down and get a look at the front of these? I was planning on flying the drone here for you guys, but with these extreme winds, I don't know. I did a little flight up by Cabot Tower earlier, and there was flight restrictions. I couldn't go any higher than the tower itself. I couldn't even get close to the tower height, actually. You'll see in the drone videos. If it's not too windy, I'm gonna run the drone along here in this harbor here. the old retaining wall here. What do you think of this two-story fishing stage here, guys? You got the solar panel on the top. Built out of all salvaged materials by the looks of it. Rough lumber. Wow, man, this is really neat. I wonder, I don't think it's still being used. I mean, they probably hang out upstairs, but you can't use that for fishing right now. But back in the day, they would have had ladders coming down into the water, so you could come in here, tie up your boat, and throw your fish up on top of the fishing stage and start cleaning and filleting them inside your stage there, getting them ready to salt or freeze. They didn't have much refrigeration though back in the day, so most of the time they would salt the cod and dry them. So the trail actually lands right on someone's patio, you guys. This is their front door. Here's an old house, and you can see the roof has fallen in. It's a really old handle and skeleton key hole there. It's pretty neat. There's some advertising going on here. Quite a few of these homes have been converted to Airbnbs. My brother-in-law actually rented one for his wedding, and just right here, right on the Outer Battery Road, I believe it's called. There's the inner battery, the outer battery, the middle battery, upper battery. There's 4 or 5 battery roads here. This is the one that's goes furthest out towards the Narrows. So check this out. This fishing stage actually it was washed into the water over a year ago. I made a YouTube short on it, and it's still here. Check this out. See how the view changes every 100 feet or so? You look around and the views are changing everywhere you look. So you had to stop many times along the way and smell the roses, you know? Check out this place here. What do you guys think of this? We got houses built right on the cliff here. Ode to the Isles. Born hard, live hard, die hard, go to hell afterwards. Check out this beautiful patio over here on the ocean. It's a cool little neighborhood, isn't it, guys? These would have been little horse paths back in the day. Little hidden sign in here. It says, never confuse education with intelligence. That's kind of true. For sure.
Yeah.
Houses are all literally built right on the cliff here. Little tiny access there for the crawl space. This here would be one of the newer builds. This one here has just recently deteriorated like that. I haven't noticed this one here before. Check out all the modern houses built on the top here.
beautiful ansikt from.
This is like a little shed here, a little storage shed built on stilts. Super dry here now. Alright folks, I'm going to end the video here. We're just about back to the car. It's just to walk up Signal Hill Road. And here's a view of the St. John's Harbour. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Thank you for hitting subscribe. Happy Thanksgiving weekend everyone. And I hope you enjoyed this hike around Signal Hill here today and some of the historic facts that I shared. See you on the next one, Deep Dive Survivor.